Well, it feels good to be back out at the cabin. It is cold, windy, and rainy outside. Might see some snow. And there are parts of Alberta tonight that are under snowfall warning. I'll be spending 2 nights out here. I have a few projects to work on before winter, and I have to start cutting up firewood. And I have my air intake line set up. That runs outside. I have some rags stuffed in there to keep the cold out. This is only a test. You know, this may or may not work. And I put an elbow on it with a license plate, so it faces directly into the draft there. I don't know if you can hear that wind out there. It's just brutal. But tonight is all about relaxing, having a good meal. Tomorrow is work day, and I'll be having some stew tonight. Some of these vegetables came out of the garden, and I can't believe I forgot the onion. These carrots came out of the garden at home. And yes, I do keep a potato peeler out here. So what that thing is underneath the pot, it came from an old barbecue. And I put the pot on top, and it allows it to simmer. This way I can still have the stove up high and not be boiling it to death. I also made this one out of rebar. It's a little bit lower. Works pretty good. So what I'm working on here is making myself a pair of cabin socks. I brought out my round peg loom. Really the only way I know how to knit besides finger knitting. And we had some old yarn kicking around, and it's a great project for those long winter nights, or if I get stranded out here. So I don't know if anybody else knows how to use these, but if I can do it, anybody can do it. Find it very relaxing. And I'll just work on this a little bit at a time every visit. No rush. Man, I am starving. I haven't eaten all day. And this smells and tastes so good. That meat is just melts in your mouth. I think it'll be even better tomorrow.
4 p.m. Mountain October 11th, 2025. Tonight, rain showers ending this evening, then cloudy with 60% chance of flurries. Wind northwest 20 kilometers per hour, gusting to 40, low -2. Sunday, cloudy with 30% chance of flurries. Wind northwest 20 kilometers per hour, gusting to 40, becoming light in -8 in the afternoon.
So my weather band's coming in a lot clearer. But this antenna that I made during the summer, much better than it was. Well, I'm almost ready for bed. I have my quilt that I made last time. Should be nice and warm. There's my hot water bottle. I think I'll try that next time. And I'm trying to burn as little firewood as possible on this trip. My whole point is to cut firewood. I don't want to be burning it all night. So I'm just going to have a small fire. Hopefully I'll stay warm enough. Well, it's time to put back on my wool sweaters. I took them off earlier because it was way too hot in here. But I want to put them back on before bed, so I don't wake up cold. So I'm almost ready for bed. I have a word search with me. Next time, I plan on bringing a book. I had a couple last year, but I got tired of them, so I brought them back home. But word search will make me sleepy. I have my nightcap on that I made to keep my head warm and trap more body heat. Like I figured, the stew is much better today. Good morning. I'm just trying to wake up here. Had a pretty good sleep. It wasn't that cold. It got down to about freezing last night. So it's definitely nice and warm. I had the stove going as low as possible. So I guess I'm going to have to go do some work today. Just not feeling it at the moment. Well, I've been looking at those dishes for 20 minutes and they're not doing themselves. I wanted to share my big pumpkin harvest here at the cabin. There it is. It's a bad thing about growing pumpkins or corn. You can spend all summer long looking after them and all it takes is one frost to kill them off. And here's some of the things I brought out with me. Some silicone, my hand drill, putty knife. We had lots of rain during the summer, and I noticed on my last trip that there was a stain on the ceiling. So there's still a little bit of water coming in. Not much, but I still have to fix it. So time will tell if I fix the roof or not. Sometimes you can make it worse. This here is a bucking stand I made a few years ago. It's adjustable. So you can put this rod through different holes, make it higher or lower. And it's not just for bucking up firewood here. You can use it to support a log if you need to. Very portable. But one thing that I didn't like about it is you can't cut up really short pieces of wood. So I added this piece here for support, and this bucking stand I can just move it closer if I'm cutting up something short. Should work. Got a couple of lag bolts in there. Gave me a lot of trouble because this hand drill doesn't bite the bit very well, and it kept slipping. So for anybody that's new here, this is my 4-foot crosscut saw. I restored it for cutting up big firewood. And this pruning type saw, I just use it for smaller wood. And that's probably what I'll be using today mostly. I also brought out some old oil. This is from my snowmobile for lubricating the blade. It makes cutting so much easier, especially if it's wet or raining or snowing. And one thing I wanted to quickly mention about my cabin, I know OSB is not the ideal wood to use on the exterior of a cabin, but that's all I had. This is all built from scrap wood. So if you put the shiny side out, that helps a lot. You'll get a couple more years out of OSB being outside. And I also made a homemade paint of used oil and used transmission fluid. Mix that together. And one thing I didn't mention in the video that I showed myself painting this, I also added some cayenne pepper, horseradish, hot sauce into the paint. I thought that might deter animals from wanting to chew on it. Now you can probably see what I mean by how I can cut up really short pieces of firewood now. And when you're cutting up your own firewood to stay in a remote cabin, when it's minus 30, minus 40, you appreciate every little stick that you collect. I just brought my crosscut saw with me, going on a little scout, looking for firewood. This is an area that I cut last year. You can see one log there that I cut my crosscut saw. A couple new fallen trees, which is good. I don't know if you can see my cabin. It's right down there, down the hill. And for me, this is the time to cut firewood, not during the summer when it's hot, humid, and it's so thick with brush. Now all the leaves have died back, it's cooler. You can see there's a tree hung up in that other one, really dangerous. And this will be right where I'm cutting wood this winter too. But Well, I sure didn't cut as much firewood as I wanted to, but my other two projects took a lot longer than I thought they would. And that ate up a lot of my day. But at least I got some cut up. I'm further ahead than I was. I think I'll come out here again soon and just spend the day cutting up firewood. So I think I'm going to get packed up here pretty soon, lock up the cabin and head home.